Do we have any questions? Let's see. All right, Rebecca, why is the text in another language? That's just something we use when we're filling out, developing and testing. It's just kind of Latin text that we use.
Yeah, we don't have any real SEIRs yet that have gone through the tool, so we're just showing test data.
And this is Pete also adding to that, we'll always show test data, because the first thing that happens when you show real projects with real things is everybody starts to read it and they're like, oh, I know that project. Instead of actually understanding how everything works, they start saying, oh, that text, I would have changed it. I would have said this differently. So we use Latin stuff so you focus on what the functionality is, not what the words are.
All right, and then can you add the other documents listed, not as attachments?
So at the bottom of each section, there's options to add additional documents, and you can add whichever documents you feel are needed, either as attachments or technical materials. We provide it kind of both ways, like as you're going through the document, when you're focused on a specific section, answering a specific question, and we know that there might be something needed, we give you a prompt. And those prompts, it's important to realize that those are just things that we think in terms of looking at the PD&E manual that you might have to provide depending on the context of your project. And every single one of them is not required. It really depends on your project and following the PD&E manual for the project. But as you go through the SWEPT form, you can either upload things, attach them, or reference them through the technical materials links at that location, or down below, you have the option to also add any documents that you feel are needed. And it's really the discretion of the project team in many cases if something should be a attachment or a technical materials. Some of the types of documents are actually specified depending on the project in the PD&E manual, so it's really important to know those requirements.
Thanks, Ruth. Our next question is from Gordon. When will the SEIR tool become effective and required?
I can answer this one. So we already announced the SEIR tool will be going live last Wednesday to the environmental leadership group. Jason, with understanding from that group, has created an environmental bulletin that's already ready to be published. The SEIR itself is already on production, but we wanted to go through the training, and it will be available right after this discussion. Now, here's sort of the caveat for when you want to use it versus not use it. If you've already begun working on a SEIR, you can already just keep on trucking with exactly what you're already working on. If you are beginning a new SEIR after today, then you should look at getting it into the SEIR application and be doing it electronically. That was the discussion with the statewide environmental leadership, and that was the expectation of coming out with the SEIR webinar today, and then follow-up directions on implementation as well.
Thanks, Pete. Next question is from Brian. The list documents had CRAS in the initials. Will they all be spelled out in the final product?
No, you go ahead, Steph. Go ahead and answer.
Oh, okay. That whenever you upload your documents, you have the ability to add a description of that. And whenever I uploaded this document, I just put CRAS, but you can spell it out or use any type of text or terminology that you feel would be good there for the final report.
So it's in the there's a field in the upload dialog that says title or description, and that is the text that will appear in your document.
Thanks. Great. Next question. Let's see, Rebecca, can you add draft documents and then change the report as it's finalized?
So yes, you can do that, but keep in mind, if it's in the review process, you have to pull it back, withdraw it, make the change, and then put it back through the review process. So you would want, as you go through it, through the process, just keep that in mind of the timing of that. And of course, once it's approved, if there's some change that's made, it would need to be reapproved.
Thanks, Ruth. Let's see. I don't see any more questions at this time. Did anybody else have anything?
And of course, we're always here for you. If you have any questions you think of later, just give us a call or email at the help desk. If it's a project specific question, like you want to know how something's addressed for a project specific, you may want to check with the OEM project development coordinator or engineer that's assigned to your district or the Turnpike. Even though OEM does not approve SEIRs, our staff are very knowledgeable and can help you. So with that, we're not seeing any more questions. We'd like to just say thank you for attending. Our goal is to get this recording split into different sections so you can go to a specific spot and find just the piece that you're interested in and get that out on our website as soon as possible. And I'll send out an email to everybody who registered, plus to all the SWEPT users where those can be found. Thank you very much.